Hey y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I have a fun new project to share with you. This is from the gorgeous Kelly Bangs, and she creates just the most beautiful art, but also her heart for God is just absolutely gorgeous. And she had this amazing idea, and she thought it would be great to share as a community. So this is her new tag book printable. It's called Won't He Do It? And the idea behind the tag book is to document those times that you see God just really show up for you. Sometimes they are huge life-changing events, and sometimes it's in the little things, it's in the little details. And she is encouraging us as a community to share those stories, not just to document them, but to share them with others, because when you share those stories, it becomes part of your testimony. You are sharing how God works in your life, and it's just really, really powerful. So she created a ton of printables, you can see, to help us document. The idea being that you can create your own tag book. So you have these tags, they're printed, they're pretty large, so you have lots of room to document in all of these gorgeous colors. And then some blank tags that you can use to decorate in different ways, add different stories, things like that. I think it's a really versatile set. Love all the blank tags a lot too. And I love the tags for documenting. So you have all the tags, all the pieces you need to put together the actual tag book. Then, of course, a bunch of extras. So you have, this is part of the extra set, Won't He Do It extras. You have a ton of different Bible verses that you can reference. They might be great places to document some of your stories. You have florals out the wazoo, all about the florals. Love, love, love this. And then, of course, some cutie tabs. These are part of the extras too. You have a ton of tickets that I think are gorgeous. Also, if you are working with Step Right Up, these colors will go really well with that, because you also have some labels that you can use. I love that. Tons of just really functional goodies that will definitely fit in however you're planning to document these moments in your life. So those are the extras. Then there are words and alphas. So lots of great phrases, words here. Love that. And then here's some more words in alpha. Bravo, bang, the best. And words in alpha. Lots of beautiful letters you can kind of write your own. And then wordfetti, which I love. You guys know I love. Love wordfetti. And of course, it wouldn't be a Kelly Bangs release without some gorgeous digital papers. So she has a whole set of digital papers designed to go with your tag book or your project that you're working on for Won't He Do It? So pretty, so fun. I'm loving using digital papers recently. Absolutely adoring it. So a ton of different goodies. You can see you have all the pieces you need to create a gorgeous tag book. And the idea is this is not just a one-time project. This is something that you can work on, you can add on, you keep it close, so that when you see God working, when you see him showing up, you add to it, and then you share with the larger community, because that's the point. Share how God is working in your life, and then you're going to see even more amazing things happening. So I plan on using a lot of these different printables. I'm actually going to be working in my Bible. I love documenting the stories of God showing up in my Bible, and this really caused me to kind of reflect on some of them that I haven't documented in the past. So that's my plan. I'll bring you guys along. I will link all of these gorgeous sets from Kelly in the description box below. Otherwise, I'm going to put you guys on fast forward. Let's go. Can we just take a moment and talk about how calming it is to cut out printables? A lot of times I use one of my cutting machines like my Cricut or my Silhouette to cut out printables. And on this particular morning, I had all these sheets printed out. I decided not to use the cutting machines. I was going to cut by hand. This took me a long time to do what I'm doing. But man, I needed it. I needed it to make me slow down. I needed it to just calm me. It was really, really the most vital part of this whole Bible journaling entry for me, because this is what calmed my head and my mind to really let me reflect on the story and the verse that I was journaling in. And so sometimes we do look for quick fixes or shortcuts to get things done faster, and that is definitely something valid, but don't discount the kind of more mindless activities because it really can help your heart get into the right place. So you can see I traced a stencil onto some of the digital papers from Kelly Bangs, and I am trimming them out. I don't know if I mentioned before, but I am journaling in the book of 2 Corinthians, and I'm looking at 2 Corinthians 9, right at verse 8. And it says, "And God is able to make every grace overflow to you, so that in every way, always having everything you need, you may excel in every good work." Now, the won't he do it moment that I wanted to write about here was from when I was a young mother. I had Madeline, and she was almost a year old, maybe just over a year old. She was going to turn 2. And I went back to work. I always planned on working. I never planned on being a stay-at-home mom. I loved teaching, and I never planned on leaving. Well, that changed. There was a December where my heart changed. God put it on my heart that perhaps I wanted to stay home. And I remember coming home and being a little bit nervous to talk to my husband about it because we had planned our lives to be a 2-income household. And so I mentioned it to him, and he said, "I can't believe you just brought that up," which at first I was like, oh my goodness, he's going to take this the wrong way. He said, "I was just listening to a Dave Ramsey episode where Dave Ramsey talked about having a parent stay at home is one of the few reasons to take on additional debt." And there was a woman sharing her testimony on that particular recording about how it had been so meaningful for her to stay home. And she was so thankful that they had taken some financial risk on in order to do that. And so it had been put on his heart the same exact day that it had been put on mine. And so we took a leap and we put our townhouse that we were in at the time up on the market, not really knowing how the finances were all going to work out. Because I had a monthly student loan payment of nearly $800 a month that could not be covered with his salary. So we put our house on the market, and we were planning on moving and buying a less expensive house. And the amazing thing that happened was that our townhouse sold for the exact amount that we needed in order to pay off my student loans completely. Not $1,000 more, not $1,000 less, but the exact amount to completely pay off my student loans so that we could have that financial burden kind of removed from us, and then we could manage our finances. And it wasn't easy. It's not like we, won the lottery, and we did have to kind of scrimp and save, but he made it possible. And so that's one of the won't he do it moments that I wanted to write down here in my Bible. All right, in the background there, you can see that I used a stencil in Tattered Rose, my very favorite Distress Oxide ink, just add a little interest to the background. And instead of using the whole tag, I'm gonna put it kind of on a kilter and have it still to journal in. The size is perfect for a large Bible like this. And I purposely put the adhesive kind of to the inside, not all the way to the edge, because I know I'm gonna wanna tuck a few of these pieces. I was feeling like I wanted something really graphic in the background, and I liked kind of the idea of these moving pieces and how God can just work in all kinds of ways in the moving pieces. And of course, anyone that has ever bought or sold a house knows there's a lot of steps, there's a lot of moving pieces, there's a lot of things that have to go right in order for the whole sale to go through. And so I just knew that God was going to be there every step of the way. And it wasn't without stress. It wasn't without nail biting. It wasn't without, a contract falling through and having to go to another contract, but it worked out because it was God's plan for it to. And I love that. And I love that this verse just talks about how God is going to provide for you, always giving you everything you need. And I remember always thinking like he gave us the exact amount we needed. He didn't give us more so that we would waste it in a way as a young married couple. He gave us exactly what we needed to take the next step with our family. So you can see I'm just having fun playing with the different shapes. I originally had trimmed out a bunch of flowers that I thought I would use also, and then I just ended up liking the bolder shapes, the tickets and the asterisks and the plus signs and all of that. I love that I have this bracket to kind of bracket off where the scripture that I'm focusing on is. That will fit right over there. I love the pops of black that come in with all of the different pieces, and that I have this built-in journaling spot to bring in that full story. I love these. I love Kelly's heart behind this, and I love the idea of everyone sharing these moments. They encourage others more than you could ever know a lot of the time. And so I would love it if in the text in the comments below, if you guys shared some stories, and they can be big and they can be small, but times that God just showed up for you that made a difference. And sometimes it's a simple prayer that you were, looking for something and there it was, and or that you were, God placed on your heart to pray for someone. You contact them, and it turns out that was the exact moment that they needed prayer. I think he just does it in amazing ways that just keep me in awe. I decided that I wanted the word fetty to have the same look as some of these shapes, so I'm kind of tracing it with the black Sharpie just so that it has that black edging. And the word fetty that I chose, I went with "He hears my prayers" because of course there were lots of prayers going on in that process. It was a little bit scary to leave a career that felt safe, that felt planned, and to stay home. And then of course that led me to the job that I'm doing now, which I think was part of God's plan all along. I know that this is what he wants me to be doing with my life. And then I chose at the top "More than I could ask or imagine," just because I was in awe of how God provided. And then I chose "Wow, God" right there. So I'm getting all of those in place, and then I'm going to trim them down and get ready to start writing. And I left a part of this video in that I would maybe edit out on another time. But I wanted to show you that mistakes definitely happen. So stay tuned for that in just a moment as I start to get the rest of these placed, and then I'm going to trim everything off. On a side note, I find this so satisfying, trimming things off and having that clean edge to the page. I think just feels so good. I love it in my planner. I love it in my Bible. I think this might be one of my favorite things, just trimming all the pieces off. Okay, taking a little time here. I want to mark that verse, just so I always want to make sure I mark the verses that I'm journaling about, because sometimes you can forget. And then I'm going to start writing. And I wanted to write "what," and I wanted to write "quitting my job," and I misspelled the word "quitting." And I was super frustrated because everything was on the page. You can always save it though. So what I did was cut out another piece of word fetty that says "I am in awe," because that is what happened. I am in awe of what God did. So I'm going to put that there, and it's going to cover the "what" and the "who," because the "what" is the awe and the "who" is I. And then I will take the time to fill out the rest of this, and I put this in fast forward. But that's going to be it for this journaling page. I hope you'll check out this set from Kelly Bangs. I hope you will share in the comments below some ways that God has done it, has really shown up. I would love to hear those, and I know others reading the comments would like to hear them also. Make sure to check out on Instagram. There will be people sharing their "Won't He Do It" moments, so you can kind of follow Kelly Bangs over there so you can check those out. I'll link things down below. As always, thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a fabulous day, and keep it creative.